Hello, this is Heisenberg.
Hey there, this is G Forever.
Yes, and we're here to review the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2019 action figure in 4K.
Yes, and for comparison, we have the Hiya Godzilla 2021, the SH MonsterArts, and NECA. So let's go check them out.
And here's a box.
Yes, all the way from China, from Hiya Toys. So huge
Yeah.
thanks to Hiya for sending us this sample to review.
Yes, and it costs $50. You can buy it at Big Bad Toy Store, but you can also buy it from other retailers now. For example, like Entertainment Earth, also for
Excellent.
$50. Yeah, it's the Godzilla King of the Monsters Exquisite Basic action figure based on the 2019 movie. 7 inches tall, 26 points of articulation, and good looking box here.
Definitely, yeah, fits very well with the previous 2019 images and very traditional gray box. Probably it's a Legendary or Toho thing to keep the similar packaging. There's the high information. You can check out their social media, their website, and even email or even call them or maybe visit their office.
Yeah, we haven't tried that yet,
No,
but
someday.
yeah, good looking box here.
Yeah. So yes, so Haya has expanding to the whole MonsterVerse line, and just recently announced they're doing the classic Godzilla figures starting with 1954. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, it
here
looks like
is
again, I like this internal packaging too. It looks like it's very
mm,
safe, very
yes,
safe inside the plastic case there.
this is the 2019 out of the box, and yeah, one piece, so you don't need any attachments. He just comes fully attached, and he's looking great.
Very cool. You don't have to put the
Yeah.
tail on.
Yes, exactly.
There he is. Yay.
Yeah, very
So you like,
detailed and yep. So after looking at him comparing to the 2021, there's actually it's a new sculpt. So it's not just the head and neck, but the back fins and the body, which we'll point out later in this video.
yeah,
But
surprising.
yes, yeah, first glance he looks wonderful. Definitely a huge upgrade in the head area and the neck. The seams definitely hide a lot better. And what's really impressive is the head on this figure. It looks very similar to the Prime One Studios Godzilla head, just in a smaller version. So that's how good the detailing is on this Haya figure.
Yeah,
All right,
very
so let's
fun.
check out the articulation. We can see the neck spins, the mouth opens, the tongue also goes up and down. Can open and close the jaw. The arms open out wide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very fun. So it's like fairly stiff or fairly loose. How,
yeah, when he came out of the box, he's super stiff. So it was hard to kind of move him around in the beginning. But I just wanted to see how how posable he is out of the box without any warming up. But yeah, every joint is a little stiff. But later in the video, I might not show it on camera, but I did pull out a hair dryer to warm him up, and he's a lot better after the hair dryer. So everything is a little bit more flexible, but still stiffer than the 2021 figure.
Yeah, I think in a moment you're going to point out that, like, actually out of the just right out of the box, you weren't able to get the waist to move around. Like he's got a point of articulation at the waist,
Correct.
but you
Yeah.
weren't able to get that around. But you said after the hair dryer, like after you finished this video, you pulled out the hair
Yes.
dryer and then you could get the waist to move
Exactly. Yeah,
around.
the waist is actually very solid. Like even after the hair dry, I'm trying to move him right now, and he's still a little stiff, but
Yeah, so
definitely a lot better than before. So
yeah, so here's where you're trying it. You're trying to see if you can move them at the
yeah,
waist, and like out of the box, you didn't quite want to move.
yeah, he didn't want to move at the
And
waist,
like,
but
and here,
fortunately,
yeah,
yeah,
here on the left is the Hiya 2021, and we'll look at
yep,
that more later. But
and
here
he
you're
can
pointing
spin
out
it
that
very
that
easily.
that that one can spin at the waist without much effort.
Correct. Yeah. So here, it's very stiff. But again, like I personally wouldn't move him like this anyways, so it doesn't matter to me. I think right out of the box, the back fins are actually hitting each other. They're overlapping. But after using the hair dryer, you are able to bend Godzilla's waist forward, and then you can actually spin him around if you like.
Oh, okay. Now we're zooming in
All right, let's look at
and
some details here.
enjoying. So you're saying the neck, obviously the neck is new, and the head is new,
Correct. Yep.
and the whole thing is new. But like the
Yeah, the
neck,
whole
but I
thing is
think,
actually
but
new, but
the neck is what looks the most different. I take it.
yes, the
So,
neck and the head. If you recall, the 21 figure was already impressive, but there was one major flaw, which was that what is it like that the pin on the right
on the
side of the
jaw.
jaw. Yeah. So it looks like Kaya did take that feedback and corrected it on this new sculpt, and it's looking wonderful.
Oh yeah,
And
no more pin on the jaw.
in addition, like the paintwork is a lot more refined because the teeth are actually painted, unlike the other one, which was like a little tint of brown paint. So the teeth are, I think it's individually painted, and the eyes are definitely has more layers of color. There's like white, black, and I think a little bit of orange. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. They're showing him off, and he's certainly got lots of nice detailed bumps.
yes, and
Uh,
speaking of bumps, they added like the clay color, like that earthy tones on this figure, so that brings out a lot of that detail even more. So you can see the details a lot more than the 21 figure.
yeah, and he can make this nice swimming pose.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing I love about the Hiya figures because if you ever do toy photography, sometimes you might want Godzilla to swim around, and you can actually do that with this figure.
But yeah, it is what is it it is worth noting. Like I said the like in the little seams, there's like or this
Hmm.
clay colored paint, which yeah, which again lets you see the detail much better.
Correct. Yep. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
very good.
think the joints are pretty well hidden overall. And there's no, you don't see through the figure like other MonsterArts figures. So I like that. It doesn't fall apart, which is a huge plus. Price point, I think for what was it like around $50 in the US and
Yeah.
about like 25 to $30 in China. This is amazing, like what they pulled off.
Oh yeah.
So, yep.
Here he is, and we're looking at the bottom of the foot here. Yeah, it says
Yes, there's
Godzilla
the
on it.
Yes, the copyright info, legendary Godzilla TM at Toho for copyright Toho. Yep.
Yeah,
And on
yeah.
the other foot, I think it is probably made in China. Yeah, 2023 is the bottom
Very
of the
fun.
tail, so no
Okay,
detail is missed.
so we're beginning the comparison. On the left is the Hiya 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
on the right is this figure, the Hiya Godzilla 2019.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I think at first glance, the most obvious difference that I see is like that clay, like in the
Mm-hmm.
seams. Like on the right, you see
Yeah.
a lot of clay color in the seams, and you don't see as much of that on the 2021.
Yeah, it's very subtle differences, but if you look at the lower belly, like the some of the scales are different. There's one, two, about four lumps of scales, right where the waist seam is on the 2019, and on the 21, it's kind of like just three, and they're kind of like lumped together
Yeah,
instead of
very
individual.
surprising, but yeah, it is different. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
the
different
chest.
sculpture. And then
Yeah, like
under,
the chest, you can see the chest is different. Under the armpits, like
yeah, under
that's
the right
another
arm,
obvious. Yeah.
under the right arm, the size of the is
Hmm.
different. And then, of course, the most obvious difference is the neck
Yes. Yeah.
and the
And
pin. And then you can see now on the left the pin on the jaw
yes.
in
Yep.
the 21, which is now gone.
Yep. And
But
going back to the scales under the right arm, the 2019 has little bumps, and they're much more deeper, so that like the detail is greater. Whereas the 21 on the left side, the bumps are bigger and a little bit softer. The back
and
fins are also different, surprisingly.
oh yeah, now I'm looking at the teeth now too. You're right. There's looks like the painting.
Mhm.
Yeah, the teeth are much look actually do look a lot better on the 2019 too.
Yes, yeah, they're sharper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sharper
all
teeth.
the
Oh yeah.
yeah,
They're much more defined and better painted.
correct. Yeah, so everything on the 2019 is more defined. I think they increased the amount of detail. And the neck part is actually kind of like a rubber material on the 2019, whereas the 2021 is actually the same hard plastic. Which I'm very impressed because the softer material, like the gill area, that captured a lot of detail, even though it's not a hard plastic. So I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah,
So
a
we can
lot of
see the
improvements.
scales on the chest is different. You
Yeah,
can
I'm
see
very
the
surprised.
sizes.
Yeah, very surprised there are so many differences that they really did like basically like resculpt him.
Yeah, but the the
So
s-
very
the, the
cool.
only thing is the changes are very subtle. So unless you're looking for them, you might not notice. Um, and I think the feet, I feel like the 2019 have sharper claws. But it could be an illusion just based on the paint color. And we can see the tail. It looks like the 2019 has a slightly bigger bump than the 21 at the
Yeah,
tip.
looks like it.
Yeah.
And then even the sculpting of the scales is different.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So on the 21 or yeah, the 21 it's sort of like it's kind of like the surface is a little more bumpy, whereas on
Mm-hmm.
the 19 it's a little more like just kind of like these clean lines.
Yes. And the biggest difference are the back fins, as I mentioned. The 2019 on the right has more like wavy lines, whereas the 2021 has more like bumps. So more skill, and of course the neck, as I'm pointing out, major difference when you're looking from the back. The neck is kind of it doesn't look so great on the 21, but is much more well hidden on the 19.
Yeah, because then they are redoing, and because the big question is like they're going to reissue an updated 2021
21,
figure. I think
yes.
the main thing they said is like it's going to have like the new neck.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the
And the
okay, now
head,
you
I
switched
think.
them
Yeah.
by the way. Now it's like the 21 is on the right and the 2019 is on the left for
Yeah.
so that you know.
So we can see the other side. Yeah.
But it looks like because so it looks like if they do take the 21 and they like give it a new neck, then it will still be different.
Mm-hmm.
It will still be a different sculpture from the 2019.
Yeah.
And then you just switched them back, so now the 2021 is back on the left again.
Yep, so you can see the neck articulation. So the 21 definitely has much more freedom on the neck, but of course you don't have that clean look as the 21. The 19, you sacrifice that extra articulation for a much more cleaner look, hiding the kind of the seams.
Yeah, which is
Noted,
fine. That's my preference.
I
So yeah,
I'm
so I
fine too.
prefer I prefer the the 2019, this newest
Yeah.
one.
And also, if you look at the tongues, I think the 2019 has a shorter and thicker tongue, and the 21 has a longer tongue, um, and easier to move than the 19. The 19 kind of like it stays still, and you have to manually move it, whereas the 21 I think kind of stays at the bottom of the jaw, but you can also move it.
Okay, let's show it next to the other Hayas.
All
So that was the
right.
Haya Kong action
Yes.
figure, and then the Mothra and the
Yeah.
Rodan. Yay! And all we
2019.
need now to complete 2019 is the King Ghidorah, which they said they're
Yes.
going to make.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I think it's coming out this December, if I'm not mistaken. So really looking forward to that one because the MonsterArts King Ghidorah is not looking that well, even with the special color.
Now who's the short guy on the right?
This is the SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2019. So MonsterArts was the king back in the day, but I think Haya might be taking over the throne now because I'm really liking what Haya's been giving us so far. I personally feel the MonsterArts kind of dropped the ball on the MonsterVerse releases. As you can see, there's a major gap where the leg is, and pretty much like no paint on the body. It's just that flat gray.
Right,
Whereas
right.
definitely you can see a lot more intricacies on the Haya figure.
Yeah. And the monster arts cost more, and they tend to like fall
Fall
apart.
apart. Yep. Yeah, I don't know, the QC definitely is no longer there for Bandai's Monster Arts line.
Yeah, and it's not as tall too. I like the fact that it's that
Yes.
high is
Haya,
bigger.
yeah, Haya's are bigger figures, which I love. I agree. Same with Heisenberg. I do like figures being kind of like closer to the 8-inch scale. 6 inch is nice, but I think 8 inch is a good like a good size.
And there you did point out that the one advantage of the Monster Arts is that it can look up more.
Straight up, yes.
So I assume it does
So
still have more like I assume it is more super articulated.
yes, so if you're looking for articulation, MonsterArts still has the best articulation. There's a lot more joints. But again, you sacrifice the kind of like the sculpt because you do see more of the seams. But yes, that neck articulation, I think MonsterArts did really well. The
Yeah,
the
here's an old
upcoming heat,
friend.
yes,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
NECA,
yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, here's an old friend. I don't want to like short shift him. Yeah, I recognize him. That's the NECA. That's the
Mm-hmm.
NECA Godzilla 2019
Yes.
with his very and he's had a lot of caffeine
Oh,
from looking
sure.
at his eyes.
Yep.
Like yeah, with his very with the you can see the white in his eyes very
Oh yeah.
clearly there.
Yeah, but
But you were saying,
I still like the NECA. It's a good figure. I think maybe the face could use a little bit more work, but otherwise, I think overall the paint is good. The sculpt is pretty decent, and it's even for that price at the time was it $25?
yeah, it was
I
like
think back in the day
yeah,
retail
around
price.
25.
It's
So
a great figure, and you could get it at your local Target at back then. So
oh yeah, I
um
like him, but this like I think they did like give him a little too much white in his eyes. He
yeah
looks like,
yeah
but yeah, I have a lot of affection for this figure.
yeah.
But I cut you off. Did you say Hi is also going to make like a blue Godzilla?
Correct. Yeah, and the blue heat ray version from the 2019 will have an extra head which you can make him do the upright pose for his head for the head and the neck and
Yep.
it comes with a heat ray, so the
Oh, very
atomic
cool.
breath. Yeah.
Now this isn't out in stores yet. I think it's sort of it's due like yeah, either at the end of this year or the start of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Is I think what Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth are saying.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
again, we got it this early. We got him early because again, this is a sample provided by Hiya for us to review.
Yes. Yep.
And my
And
word, it's like after seeing it, after zooming
with
in
the
here on him
competition.
in 4K, it just looks so good.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I
probably one of the best 2019 figures articulated versions out
yeah yeah
there.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah. I think this is like the best Godzilla 2019 action figure
Yep.
that's been made to date. And especially, I really like the way the face looks like head on like this. I think it's
Yes.
like by
Yes.
far like it looks the head on view of this of the head. I think is
Yep.
like is the best with this toy.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't put him next to the Prime One, but I'm staring at the Prime One right now. As I mentioned, it really looks like a miniature version of the Prime One bust. Like it's
Yeah.
that good.
Oh yeah, and then here's the whole Hiya
Yeah.
action
Here's
figure
the
collection to
whole.
date.
Yes. Yep. The
So
whole
fun.
lineup so far.
Oh yeah, yeah, very cool. And again, these are getting easier and easier to get in the United States because Hiya now has permission to sell them in the United States, so they're
Yep.
not hard to get. Yeah, yeah. So highly recommended.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think Haya is definitely, if you're looking for articulated figures with a great sculpt and pretty decent paintwork, I would say Haya is the clear winner here. So I'm really happy to see Haya, doing more of the MonsterVerse, characters as well as the upcoming Toho classic figures. I think I'm a huge fan of that. So looking forward to see all the upcoming Haya releases. Yeah, huge thanks again for Haya for providing this wonderful sample for us to review.
Yes, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Hiya news in the future and other fun videos. This is Heisenberg.
And G Forever, hoping you enjoy the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2019.